Every kind of fun that can be had has been had in the studio.
Yes.
What happens there stays there, I would assume.
No way. It's going right onto Instagram.
Oh, perfect.
For marketing purposes.
Surrounded by microphones, literally.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I am Kevin, and this is the Riffs and...
I am Paul, and this is the Rhythms Podcast.
It's the Riffs and Rhythms Podcast.
That's right. Well, good. We've got it straight, because the last few episodes we did Riffs and Riffs, because I fucked up. And then we did when you weren't
Freudian slip, actually.
When you weren't here, we called it Rhythms and Rhythms Podcast.
Yeah, and then we had Lefty with the Riffsums.
The Riffsums, yes. So, we have no idea. It's as long as you get somewhere close, right? It's somewhere in the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
so anyway,
horseshoes.
Yes, that's right. How do we sound, though? We sounding all right?
I can hear you well.
Well, okay. I want to make sure because, we are somewhat of a professional podcast. So, because we're here with some professional...
Oh, yeah. No pressure.
No pressure.
Supposed to sound good today. I don't know if we could do this.
That's right. So... we want to welcome to the podcast. We've been working on these guests coming on for the show for a while. These are going to be awesome guests here tonight. Is Jeff and Bryan from Raincat Studios. How you doing, guys?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having us. Really stoked to be here.
That's right. So we have also, too, this is like we were talking before the show started, was a little bit of a possibly a tag team WWF matchup that we can be doing here, right?
Yep. Soon we're going to spread out the garbage bags and the Wesson oil, and we're going to start.
That's right. You do have a lot of experience in that kind of
I do,
wrestling.
Actually. Usually there's cabbage involved.
But yeah, so both you guys are owners of Raincat Studios and also a guitar player and a drummer. So this is perfect. So now we've got even sides here.
Yep.
Well, not just owners, though, but recording engineers, producers, mixers, masterers,
The whole
everythingers.
janitors.
Yes.
Yeah, because they kind of gave me their whole list of everything they wanted to be called, like kind of like Apollo Creed and Rocky, like the Master Disaster, Sultan of Swing.
You guys have job descriptions that rhyme?
That would be cool. We should think of some.
Yeah, you got to
think.
have some better than this. Come on now.
So yeah, thanks guys for coming on the podcast here. So definitely we were talking through, again before the episode started is, I've like a lot of guests is that we have on. I'm aware of a lot of the guests haven't really had a chance to kind of meet and learn more about you, but I know Kevin's you've recorded at the studio, right?
No, I've been there.
Okay.
It's awesome. They're looking at me like, yeah, no, you haven't recorded there. You're politely like, when are you going to come?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're looking for a little bit better quality.
They want good musicians in there, not me.
Oh, we'll take it.
We make musicians sound good, though.
There you go. There you go. So
well, there's hope for me yet.
Hopefully they make this podcast sound good.
Well, no, just as a disclaimer, the Raincat recording has nothing to do with the sound quality of this podcast. They are our victims today.
That's true. It is sounding good, though.
Excellent. So we will put the disclaimer up there. It says, no professional...
no audio engineers were harmed in the making of this
yes,
podcast.
exactly.
We're Melodyne free today.
Right.
So yeah, let's talk about a little bit about, again, I know a lot of folks, we talk a lot about in this show about the Treasure Coast music scene is awesome, right?
Best.
Again, I live down here in Palm Beach, and I'm always a little bit jealous of really closer community. And again, I think because it's the areas up there is a little closer. Obviously Palm Beach County is huge, right? Mm-hmm. But you see a lot of musicians come through, so it's great to see a lot of you guys see it firsthand. I think we're gonna have a couple reviews of some bands as well too that's come through, and definitely even Kevin and I have talked about was maybe that's something that if you got upcoming artists there or recording, it'd be great, how we can tie in the Raincat into the show, into other musicians who want to kind of get, come on the show. If they're camera shy, at least put their song up there for a review.
Wait, singers who are camera shy, what?
Yes.
I do this so no one pays attention.
Yeah.
Well, because
Said no one ever.
Right. Well, that's we're hiding in the back there. Nobody even knows we're there. They just hear noise and that's about it, right? So, but yeah. So
Yeah, man,
how long did you guys start the studio? You know.
We started the studio in 2012 officially.
Okay.
I mean,
Officially in a bedroom
officially in
or a house. It was a nice space. It was a quarter of the house.
Yeah.
We took it over.
But we met in 7th grade, started a band in 8th grade, and we played all through high school and played a lot post high school. We did a lot of traveling with the band and whatnot, and when we kind of got over touring and sleeping in a van for 5 years, we came home and started play some music together. I was bartending at an open mic, and we had this little demo studio and in a little office in the house we were staying in, and we would just kind of invite people back from the open mic that we really liked and say, hey, we'll record you for free. And that's how the studio started. So a little over 10 years now, 3 locations, and
okay.
yeah, we've been, I mean, like you said, we're so lucky to live in an area that's got so much incredible talent.
Right.
Yeah, that was what started it.
Yeah.
We were just
So 3 locations. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's
well, I mean,
awesome.
Not 3 concurrent locations. I mean, like over that
okay.
10-year period, we've been in 3 spots.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
We've been in our
relocated 3
Relocated.
times.
Okay, got it. You mean evicted a couple times there? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, right. We've taken some massive upgrades recently.
Yeah.
And finding a studio location is not easy, man. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Just that we're so lucky in our current spot. We've been there for almost 8 years now, or 8.
I can't even believe it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild.
since 2016.
Yeah,
The end of 2016.
yeah, end of 2006.
Which I just nailed down because
good to know.
I kept being like, 6 years or 5 years or 7 years, and I was like, how long have we been here? And it's been 8.
That's wild.
And I don't even.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing.
But lucky with that place because I mean, you need everybody else to be super quiet, and you need to be super loud, and you need everybody else to be okay with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a guitar player.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking assholes.
At least the drums are loud enough that if someone else is making noise, it probably doesn't matter because the drums are so much louder. Much easier to record drums. Like if there's like a little bit of something going on, even the AC hum, like it's probably not going to ruin a snare drum sound, but it's going to ruin some fucking acoustic
Finger picked.
picking.
Yeah.
That's a cool effect that you had on your guitar. What effect did you use? Oh, that was the AC.
How'd you get that awesome white noise?
60 cycle hum right there.
So the studio there, where's the location? Where's it at?
We're in Jensen Beach, just off of Savannah Road, right in the little kind of industrial area back there. And yeah, we've been there for going on 8 years now. We were in downtown Stewart before that, right on that back alley.
Seminole.
Yeah, Seminole Street. That was a cool little spot, but it was definitely interesting. It was like the drum room was upstairs, the vocal booth was across the hall, everything. It was a weird...
Everyone was talking like this, and there, but no seeing anybody, which is weird when there's like a whole full band upstairs and you're running a multi-track recording and like, all right, everybody ready for take 2? Or if you need to change something, you're like, okay, give me a second. And you go run up the stairs.
Did you have cameras in the room or just kind of that was it?
Not at the
So
time.
you probably have no idea when to say, we got to do it again. See,
Yep, exactly.
Oh,
okay.
I'll tell you what, though, it's...
Still, we don't look at people. I love it.
Yeah, it actually informed the current studio that we have, though, because we consciously, when we built our current location, made we have like a multi-purpose vocal booth isolation room, and we made it consciously away from the control room so that you can't see in there, just because we found that people really liked being in their own little world when they're doing vocals, not having us stare at them, and just kind of being able to just kind of like, turn the lights off, do whatever you want, be comfortable.
Yeah.
didn't you say that you had a story about somebody being in an isolation booth and they thought they were bad singers or something? There was some story I thought you mentioned something about,
Bad singers do make their way into vocal booths.
Okay. And you make them better. Is that what it is? Something like that?
To a point.
Yeah, we do our best.
Yeah. Melodyne is helpful, but it's not a miracle.
So you've taken over, you've got your location, you've been there for quite some time, and you took this idea from, the room or the house, and now you've made it a career full time and everything. So that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we've been, it was definitely a long road.
Yeah.
We both worked other jobs for most of that time. We just got to be full time a few years ago.
Yeah. A lot of, in our early 20s, like pulling all dayers, like we'd work our day jobs, get off, and then go work at the studio all night. And really 7 days a week for the better part of like 10 years.
Yeah, about. But I mean, it was great. It was what allowed us to, reinvest in the business and get the equipment that we needed, and and just get better. Because
Yeah, you don't start off good.
no, God, especially with audio. I mean, it takes forever. There's no shortcut for it. You're gonna suck for a really, really long time.
Well, I can say you don't suck now because I've heard of tons of recordings from Raincat, and they're always great.
Thank you very much.
man.
Means a lot. Means a lot coming from you, buddy.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, honestly, every mix is a learning process. I feel like, I always wish that I had known what I knew, learned this trick a little earlier, but that's just the way of it. You're always gonna grow and learn from everyone and get a little bit better. Hopefully, I mean, it is a lifelong process of just like music, of getting better.
So I guess describe for those, and most of our viewers or, people check out the show, are musicians, are into music, right? But for those that may stumble across this and don't know really how this all works, describe what, an audio engineer recording, a band comes in, why it's important, kind of those aspects of what you bring, right? It's not just, I've got a microphone here, okay, and nowadays, because of technology, it's cheaper, it's easier to do home studios. Why a home studio isn't just because you can buy shit off of Amazon that makes you now,
I hate my home studio.
yeah.
I just want to say that. It sucks for everybody.
Right,
Me included.
yeah, you're not like Mutt Lang overnight, right? Kind of thing. So
No, but even us, like we have home setups that we'll do.
They're a disaster.
Oh, they're the worst.
We don't use them enough.
When everything's not set up and ready to roll, it's the main thing that's so cool about coming into especially I like to say our studio, but most studios, is that there's like less barriers between the time it takes you to create and it actually being laid down, because I feel like every minute in between you coming up with the inspiration or you wanting to lay it down, and then you have to think, okay, I gotta plug this in, I gotta make sure my tone's okay, and then I'll make sure these amps or mics are in phase, and then make sure I'm getting a good level on the thing, and before you know it, it's half an hour later, and you're still trying to dial in a guitar tone, and you're just over it, and it's now the inspiration's gone, whatever it is. It's, you trying to wear too many hats and record yourself. Like, even when we're in the studio, he records me, I record him, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's having that extra ear that's outside of you that can tell you, no, that was good enough, or that was not, you got to do that again, or you're just approaching that the wrong way. Think of it like this is
Playing like an asshole.
playing like an asshole.
You're ruining the track. Please
Do that all the time. It's so nice to have another ear that can be honest with you. And we've been doing this for long enough that we know the little tricks that go into making a good record, and the little things that are easy to do, but you just don't know until you do them a million times and mess it up a million times. Singing too loud, playing too hard, all these little things that when the red light goes on, you just get nervous and you just start overplaying and all these little things, So I think that's, definitely one of the big pluses of coming into a studio versus doing it yourself. But also, I find that just the experience of being in a place to get work done, you tend to get a little bit more work done. It's rather than, working from home.
Yeah.
You might lay down a little thing and then go have a drink, and then, you do this, and before you know it, it's 3 months later and you haven't released anything, versus what you could do in 4-hour session of really buckling down and getting some work done. It ends up being, a time saver.
yeah, because I can see you're being very focused and where you're here for, because again, the clock is ticking. Mm-hmm. Time is money, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
But if they just focus on doing the best they can to perform well, we will take care of everything else. Like, it's amazing what you can get done in a a reasonably short amount of time. I mean, we've had bands come in, walk out in 3 to 4 hours with like an incredible sounding song, and that's really not that much time. But I mean, if you can play it quick and you're efficient, like, we're dialed in enough that like it's gonna sound good right out of the gate, and then especially if you mix it for a couple hours, give us the time to do it, it's gonna sound good. So yeah.
So Kevin and I were in Memphis earlier this year.
Nice.
Right. So have you been to Sun Studio?
No,
I'd love to.
Yeah,
That room is full of magic.
I bet, man.
Wow.
It's just a little cube of a room.
It's so, I've seen pictures. It looks tiny.
It is.
Yeah.
It's tiny. It's.
I love that.
Your studio is bigger than.
That's amazing.
It
Our
is.
studio is pretty small.
It's got a higher roof though.
Yeah.
But like you can just like all the vibes that got laid onto tape are still in that recording room.
It's amazing how that happens. Like, places soak up that much, like, good vibes.
Molecules get in the walls or something.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love seeing studios that are not these massive, huge studios that we all imagine, because it's nowadays that's almost gone. I mean, there's a few big ones left, like, because they don't even fit into the universe of music anymore. I mean, there aren't artists that can afford to block out those studios, and so there's a few awesome ones left, but they're almost like museum pieces. I mean, like Avalon in New York, or I think they call it something else now, but I think a university bought it. So it's almost like a charity studio. Like, they get funding.
It doesn't turn a profit. Yeah.
So I think the smaller studios is the way of things, the way of the future.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Whereas watch that documentary about the We Are the World and recording.
Yeah.
And they were picking up, saying, "What do I hear in this?" Again, the engineers say, "I hear something jingling. What's making noise?" And it was Cyndi Lauper's
Bangles.
Jewelry.
or something. Yeah, so it was kind of like crazy. Yeah, so I don't make sure I'm not like feel like I'm doing all the talking, but you just
You are. Go ahead.
okay, all right, fine, okay,
You're doing great, buddy.
Drummers
Thank
are
you, thank you.
usually the loudest.
I know we don't get a chance. That's right. We don't get a chance.
Give us our time.
That's right. That's right.
There's no solo in this one. No guitar solo in this podcast.
Yeah. So the difference
I'm outta
between like producing. Do you do producing, or is it just the engineering? Or I mean, where's those fine lines of those two roles?
I think nowadays, especially, those lines have to be, as a necessity, just blurred and sometimes erased. I mean, we do have sessions where we're only engineering, but most of the time we're doing a little bit of everything. We kind of specialize in filling out arrangements too. A lot of the work we do is with solar performers who come in with the song that
Solar, like
solar,
powered by
yes,
the sun?
so it's solar powered performers.
We do worship the sun in the studio. So
People that have written a song, and maybe they have an acoustic guitar part or piano part or some chords, or sometimes not even. Sometimes they'll just bring in lyrics, and then because Brian's a drummer and keys player and I'm a guitarist and bassist, we can kind of be your band. So we do, not only are we producers and engineers, but also session players most of the time. And having all of that in us two has really enabled us to give people like what I feel like is a pretty good bang for their buck. You can get a lot of work done without having to hire a band, hire an engineer, hire a producer. We can give you the results of that with just us being there. And I think that's, the way that things are moving, that they have to, because there aren't budgets like there used to be. Most of the people that we work with are, coming in, paying their money out of their own pocket. And that's hard for an artist to do. So to be able to give them a professional sounding product at a fraction of what it would have cost, 10 years ago to do that, it's definitely, I think, the way that we've been able to survive as a studio is, a lot of studios are going out of business.
Right.
yeah, we ask people what they want. We say if it's a project that we're really getting involved, we'll sit down with the artist before we even start, and that's really common. We like to do that and just ask them what they're looking for, what they want out of it, and how involved do they want us to be. Because listen to your song and give you my opinion on it, depending on what you want the song to be. You know, is it a jam song? Is it a pop song? You know, and if you don't want my opinion, that's cool too. You know, so yeah, whatever people want. You know, we don't typically charge extra for the production. Like our opinion, you know, we're happy to tell you, you know, if we feel like your performance should be a little different. You know, obviously if we're playing and all that, you know, that's a little different, but.
Right, because you're adding a whole nother element of that composition now.
Yeah, and we both have to be there, and in a lot of cases, if we are just engineering, it's one of us. You know.
Yeah, because I think there was a you know, listening to again, here we go again, mentioning Mr. Brad Brock and his show there, Jams and Cocktails there, right? So
Shout out.
Yeah, so because he's apparently paying Kevin. He's paying somebody to get mentioned all the time in this show. I'm not. I haven't seen any of the money though. You know,
I haven't gotten any checks.
But yeah, he, you know, in one of the episodes there, because I think the Little Things had recorded a couple things there.
Oh yeah, we worked with them
Live
years ago.
video?
We did live video. And
video?
we did a song with them. I don't know if they ever released it, but
We did do a song that came out pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
they're great. We love working
Yeah.
with them. Yeah, we love their harmonies. They're so cool.
That's what it was on that episode where, you know, Brad was playing one of the songs and they were singing live. That's what it was on the show. And, you know, and Katie and Janice was like, their harmonies were like, he thought it was a problem with the audio equipment. You're like,
It's too good.
it's fade, you know, there's a fade, you know,
Yeah.
phasing kind of thing going on. And he goes, no, that's you guys singing, right? And it's like,
They've been singing together for so long. It's almost like you can really tell. Like one of our first clients was a father son, Summer Gill and her dad, and like our father daughter. Sorry, Summer. But like you can really, I love hearing families sing together because there's something about the lock in of the harmony that's just like unreal.
Yeah, the voices match.
Yeah, they match, but they have that. The Katie and Shanice have
They
that.
really
same
do.
thing.
Yeah.
You got some of that going on, right? Kind of.
Some of what?
The family lock.
Oh yeah. My daughter is an excellent singer. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And we sing. Except I can never do harmonies with her because she's a lead singer and it messes her up. She's like, what? So we do all kinds of, you know, unison harmony. Yeah, I mean, the voices match. They just match. They're genetically matched.
Yeah, there's something special about it that just doesn't quite. Nothing else quite touches that. Yeah.
So I think the perfect opportunity now is you guys talked about, you know, you do sometimes perform and help out musicians with other, you know, accompanying music, etc. So I think it is probably definitely the right time now to. You guys brought along a song. We ask all the guests to say, you want to put something up and hear what our opinion is and our review of the song and whether the guitar or the drums make...
Well, let's be specific. The riff or the rhythm.
Sorry, the riff or the rhythm.
Doesn't have to be a guitar.
Interesting.
That's true. The riff transcends the guitar.
It transcends everything. That's why it's most important.
It does.
riff.
I have to agree. Yeah, I worship at the altar of the riff.
Yeah, but remember, the riff is just a part. You know, the rhythm is a lot more than just... the riff, right? The rhythm.
That is true. A riff is pretty lame without a solid rhythm behind it.
Say this.
Wow. It's just an implied rhythm, which would make the riff so good. But I love when a guitar player comes in with a riff that is so confusing and doesn't make sense without the rhythm behind it. And then you're like, you know what you need more than anything to make that riff shine? A really solid drum beat.
Yeah, you're probably totally right, but keep in mind
there you go.
that riffs have a rhythm, but
all of their own
don't have a riff.
Oh,
that's true. But if the riff makers could even get the rhythm most of the time, that would help them.
I'm seeing this dividing line.
You guys need like a 10-foot tall metronome.
Have you ever heard of a guitar player playing to a metronome? That'd be funny.
It's almost as common as playing to a jar to a guitar player.
The drummer who thinks they're a metronome but also hasn't listened to one. So I love those. They're like, I am a metronome. It's like, no, you're not.
You left the metronome behind a long time ago, buddy.
Yeah, I love that meme that's like, Santa's been watching you practice, and it's just like, he's going to bring you a metronome.
There was something the other day about somebody, how you play to a metronome. How drummers that say they play to a metronome is like somebody trying to play ping pong. It's like totally missing, you know, hitting the ball and all that. But all right. So we've got a song here there. So Jeff and Bryan brought their song here, The Sovereign Sons, The River. So you want to talk a little bit about the song here before we go ahead and cue it up?
Sure, yeah. Sovereign Sons was kind of the band that we started after back in the day. The band that we went through high school with and went on tour with was heavy metal. We were called Abolish, and when we stopped, kind of got off the road with that and wanted to do something a little bit more multi-dimensional, Brian started playing piano. And this was kind of the band that we started before we started the studio. And then we started the studio and dropped the band for like 6 years, basically, because we were too busy recording everybody else.
We wanted to record ourselves.
Yeah.
It was like, if we're going to do this, let's just record ourselves and it'll be useful. And then we started recording other people and didn't record a Sovereign Sun song for 6 years or 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then we were like, hey, we have the studio now, so we should probably get back to that
start
song.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like our fourth one that we've done. We average about one a year because we're lazy. It's like the carpenter that never finishes his own cabinets kind of thing.
Ironic. Yeah.
Yeah, the mechanic has tons of
Yeah,
cars at the
exactly.
house.
Yeah, so this is like our Monday night. We might get together and like we got another one in the works right now. We do the drums 1 month, and then 2 months later we'll do the bass for it, and then just kind of piece it together over the year. So we have trouble playing these back because we never remember what the parts were.
Yeah. We're like, oh, that part you wrote was so cool. I'm like, it's so gone. I got to relearn it. Yeah.
I guess that's tough, right? Is because you're full time in music and recording, and then it's kind of like the guy who does computer work all day long, or mechanic. Then you got to go home and fix your kid's car or whatever, right? It's how do you take that break? And I can see why it's you're around it so much. I mean, you don't get me wrong. I know you guys love music.
It's every day. The thing is that we don't get to our music just as busy as everyone else is. Like getting to your own music it's a challenge. Like anybody with a normal, we just have our normal lives. We happen to own a studio, but we're still not doing our music.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it's it is always fun, but it can feel when you've had 3 sessions already that day, and you've laid down a drum track already, and then had to tune a vocal and all these things, it can feel like a little bit of a chore. And usually, that's over in about half an hour, and we're super stoked on it by the time we're actually tracking it. But like we talk about, like to relax, a lot of times I listen to talk because I just can't hear any more music.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your ears get tired. People don't realize that your ears can get tired, especially especially for recording. Right, is kind of the over and over
active
the
listening.
mixing.
Right,
active listening. Yeah,
So is it a good thing or a bad thing that you're so booked out that you can't even record your own music?
I think it's a good thing. I'll take it.
It's a blessing. Yeah. I mean, we can always schedule a day off if we want to. We're bad at it, and then you realize you're like, oh, wait, I'm having fun, but I need a day off, and that was an interesting thing because we really did work 7 days a week for so long. And at some point we had to be like, hey man, like now we should think about a day off. And we went to 1 day off a week, and now we're at the normal 2 days. We both have 2 days off a week. And that just started like a year ago.
Yeah, not even
6 months ago. So, and that's been great. And I'm just like, holy shit, it's the least I've worked in fucking 10 years. Having 2 days off a week. It's crazy.
Yeah, if you were working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and now you're working 40 hours, well,
Maybe not 16 hours, but 12 for sure. Because,
12 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah. And we thank God we are in our early 20s. Because now I'm in
couldn't
mid
have done it
30s.
now.
I'm fucking, no
tired.
way. No way.
It gets better.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. This is the song "The River" by the Sovereign Sun. So we're going to go ahead and give it a listen here, and we'll see what you think here. So
be brutal.
Just another sinner, knee deep in the river. Half past, how could I have known? All my life,
Good harmonies.
I answered questions, but I never wondered why. Seasons come and seasons go around. I'm done waiting on tomorrow.
Ooh, a little dissonance in there. That sounded cool.
nice. We got some pros here, man.
We do. These guys can play.
Your life unfolds. You can't fight the underdog. But when you talk tomorrow, and you don't know what you don't know, you can't believe you can just let go. Just be careful. You
Reverse camera trick.
your whole life waiting to be
I like how it switches back and forth between the tense arm, the tense rhythm, and the smooth in the chorus.
Comes back, yeah. I'm digging the drum so far. I'm just gonna go out on the limb right now.
I'm thinking rhythm.
Now, when you guys recorded this, also you've got other parts. You got keys. You play the bass too. Just obviously.
Clearly, the drummer mixed this down.
As he should.
Yeah, Brian played all the keys, obviously, and drums.
Yeah, we're not a live band.
No.
Studio band.
I think though it kind of would blow some people's minds though. If you guys come out on stage, with a little bit of something going on. I mean, I'm serious, right?
We'd have to find players.
Yeah, we'd have to find a band.
Oh yeah, well, I only see two. That's all you need. I mean, the White Stripes is two people, right?
I know there's, by the time we're done with these songs, they're so layered.
There are like 4 key tracks on this.
It's a good question. Probably 2.
Yeah, there's like a distorted organ and
Oh yeah, there's a distorted organ. I was
There's
even
some stuff buried in there. It sounds good.
yeah.
I like the way that all of the rhythm tracks kind of come as one. It was hard to pick them apart. So they're mixed in tight.
our kind of our
It's a little wall of sound.
our natural.
We usually put too much, and then we're like, man, we fucking put too much on there. Like, strip it down, you know. I still have to remind myself about dynamics because something can only be loud if it's quiet, right? And something
Right.
can only be quiet if it's loud, you know. And you want to rock, you know, but it's like you start the song and you're at 9, and then you're like, okay, we're gonna go to 10, and then you just stay at 10, and then you're like, oh man,
Well, you get
did it again.
You get right because you get really so totally into it. And
We came from a metal band.
well,
man.
right. That's what I was gonna say.
10.
I was
Always 10.
was going to exactly say that is that very few metal bands have any level of dynamics, right? You know, maybe Dream Theater if you consider that metalish, right? Or
Right, metal-ish though. If once you get dynamics, they're like lame.
Yeah, but anymore you can't change the dynamics. You can only change the perceived loudness of the track back and forth. Because like if you're ever going to put it on radio, if you go down more than a dB, like radio coverage loses like an entire city.
Yep, it's crazy.
Much compression on the radio.
Much compression on. Yeah, zero dynamics on the radio. So I mean, that's what I'm saying is like then this does that. This changes the perceived energy of the song in multiple ways. With the rhythm, with the cadence of the song, with the different sounds. I think it's a well done arrangement.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, that was kind of the genesis of the song. Oh, thank you. It was the sort of that like the tension between that chromatic riff part thing that starts it, and then the sort of melodicism of the chorus, which is like the big release.
Yeah, you can hear that clearly.
yeah. All right, so you're going to let me hear you say it. Come on.
The thing that makes this track is the rhythm.
Thank you. There you go.
Wow.
There you
Win for the rhythms.
But let's not take away from the expertise in the riffs, because as I was saying, all those multiple parts really mesh together to become like you said, like one wall of sound. It sounds great.
Yeah, the bridge would have been nothing without the guitar. It would have sounded so lame. Actually, the whole song would have.
Well, what's interesting
some of
is
the parts.
that bridge part where we go back into that main riff and it gets heavy because we start it with that first thing just on the acoustic guitars, and then we come back with all the distorted guitars before the last chorus, doing that same riff, and we were just layering guitar on guitar on guitar on guitar, trying to make it heavy, and but it was just missing something. What made it awesome was when you did the chaos piano track of the just hitting like the Jerry Lee Lewis, just dun, 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 and then just like all the big slides and stuff. That's what made it feel really cool.
I want to bring back piano rock, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like,
Yeah.
where's the but like rockin'?
Yeah.
You know, like not Billy. I love Billy Joel, but like
Well, that's rock and roll, though. Piano, like rock. You know, I come from the 80s, and where the keyboard player had to be behind a curtain.
right, but there was a lot.
There was a lot of it, yeah. But yeah, like rock and roll had the piano, like that Jerry Lee Lewis kind of stuff. That's rock. You know, rock. There should be more rock. There's lots of rock, but very little roll anymore.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, piano rock is definitely kind of that. I mean, that's what we kind of end up being, just because that's how we write the songs.
Right.
But it's definitely, it's been cool figuring out a place to put, to put piano in a rock tune.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there you go. So there is The River by the Sovereign Sons. So check it out. Where can people check it out? We'll download and all that.
It's on Spotify and all the places, all the platforms. It's on YouTube.
All the tunes.
We have a new song to add to our
The
playlist.
Sovereign Sons will be added to our playlist on
that's right.
Spotify. We
Rock
have
and
like
roll.
6 or 7 songs on it.
Sweet.
Yep. So as we kind of start kind of winding this episode down here. So we've got a segment here. This is part of our an MVP. This is the House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits MVP of the week there. So our good friends over at House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits there, that we sampled a little bit of some product that they had sent over there, Stolock whiskey there. So, and so definitely some good stuff there. But so this is our MVP of the week. So, do you guys have an MVP? Somebody you want to shout out, recognize there? Jeff, you want to kind of pick somebody there? You got somebody who's like, hey, this person helped me out, or could be a musician or whatever. So,
I guess for me, I'm going to shout out. I've never met him, but we know each other over the internet, almost like we've known each other over the internet.
Right. Yep.
But recently, Brian Hill from Bubble Ups Guitars turned me on via Instagram or whatever to Blue Magic Strings, which I've started stringing up all the guitars in the studio with, and I'm so happy with. Really? So MVP of the week for me is going to be Brian Hill from Bubble Ups Guitars. Thanks for the tip. Huge game changer. I never really cared that much about strings. I was always kind of like whatever's laying around.
Nah.
And man, I tell you, it makes a huge. I love them. Their tonality, they just play great. Yeah.
I want to do an MVP shout out.
Yeah,
and it's a legacy shout out. And I'm going to give you both credit for this.
Okay.
So, being the totally mentally organized guitar player that I am, sometimes I do solo shows and I don't put everything I need for the show in the right bag. And so, I don't know, it was like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, maybe 6 or 8 months ago, by the way, time has been flying. But I showed up to a gig and I did not have a microphone to sing through. And so I did an emergency SOS on Facebook, and these guys showed up like I'm doing like the first set instrumental, just like saying the rosary, playing guitar, going like, "Dear God, please save me." And I was just about to run out of songs, and you showed up with a microphone in your hand, and I was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus!" So you saved my whole show.
That was perfect timing. Nice. I was like, I think I was doing something at the studio, bouncing out just a bunch of stuff that was going to take like an hour to bounce, and I was just scrolling through Facebook, and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, that's right down the street. I'll go." Perfect. I'm glad that worked out.
I'm having a panic attack playing my last instrumental song, and he shows up with, "Yeah, you need a microphone." Like,
nice.
We could use.
Thank you again.
Yeah, we could use as much good juju, because if something goes wrong in a set or in the studio, it is awful.
Yeah.
When people are looking at you, or it's time to perform, or like it's not time to mess up, it's time to deliver. Like, so
that is the worst feeling in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
We should start like a service like that, like Uber, for just like to bring a cable, or
yeah, we talked 7 years ago. Was talking with Billy T about this. Was
Billy T?
Billy T, that's right. Yeah, and we got to get Billy on. So we were in a band together back many moons ago, and we were talking about after the next day after a show. It's like, why don't we have like band Uber. Because you don't want to break your stuff down, right? You know, that's always sucks at the end.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, like roadies, so you just come.
Right, and we were going to call it Boober, right? You know, band Uber, right? And you know, catchy logo and stuff like that, right? So, could you imagine? I mean, I don't know what service would you pay for that? That would probably pay your whole all the money. You
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, I would call it like OMG backline services.
Yeah, or I don't know. Maybe if you get enough people to subscribe into it, that you can, like an Amazon stop. You know, you pick up bands along the way, get their gear, load it up.
Yeah.
Could be in the money. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
So, if you
Yeah.
want to invest in our company, Boober, you know, just hit me up. Send us a DM there. So
It's a solid idea.
Yeah, supply
There are
PA.
people that don't want to carry those amps anymore.
yeah, typically singers, right?
No. Never
I
saw.
don't even know what it is to do load-ins.
No.
Yeah. So
It's wonderful fun. You should join me sometime.
I think you break down everything for you in your band set when you do your band sets. You're breaking everything down. So Kevin's
Yeah, well, it's easier to just send everybody home than to watch them wrap my cable.
yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah,
You won't find them.
No, let's not go there.
that is not how you do it.
When I owned my last sound company, I became known as the cable Nazi.
Yeah. You have to.
Because, like, I'm not spending $300 in copper cable just because you don't know how to wrap a cable, buddy.
Talk about the most uncelebrated, expensive thing that no one ever thinks of is cables.
Yeah.
Like, I got $5,000 in cables.
Yeah, that's
No one cares, man.
it's not sexy.
No one
Oh,
cares.
no.
Not, but
it's
it's.
cable.
I'll tell you what though, it's like that. We used to do gigs for this guy Al Gallo for video work back in the day, and he would hire us to just come and help him out for events and stuff like that. And he used to say, "I don't get gigs because we do the best work. I get the gigs because I have the most cables." And it's so true, because if you have all the connections and you can actually hook stuff up, you're probably going to
You
get
got
a lot
an
of jobs.
adapter? Yeah. Can you get the job done?
We always remember that. We keep that. We keep every adapter.
all kinds of shit.
in the
I've
world.
had it happen where I had $500,000 worth of PA set up for a national act, and I had
You need an aux cord.
I couldn't use the entire PA because I forgot like a $5
thing.
adapter at the house. I had to run back and get it.
I feel that. Like, ooh.
I was mortified.
Yeah.
So cool. So So what do you guys got coming? You guys, I mean, I know they said you're not performing live, but is there anything coming up there to plug? Here, between the end of the month here, second half of April.
We got a new Sovereign Son song we're working on, but I mean it'll be a while. This guy's getting married in like 2 or 3 days, so everything is going.
I'll be married by the time this comes out on the internet.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Where's the bachelor party? Did it already happen?
It's going to be in Jupiter.
Oh,
Maxie's lineup.
Oh, there
Okay.
you go. Give us
It sounds like
give us the
scripted,
date.
but
We'll
it's
help make
not.
sure you find.
Yeah,
find as
have a
much
good
fun as
time.
possible.
Have a good time. Yeah,
We'll be
so
married
that'll
and
fun.
divorced by the time this is out.
I fucking hope not. Yeah, that'd be a big waste of time and energy.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a girl or a guy?
A girl.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. However you swing.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah. Someone asked
You
me
are a
that
drummer.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, we as far as like this is another thing to plug though is we're always dropping new music out of the studio, and we try to give a shout when someone has released a project that they put some love into. So there's always great stuff that we're plugging when it comes out, and everyone we work with is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, they all love their music and they want to be there. And that's one thing that comes through, because
Right.
it's so.
No, very cool. No,
Oh, I'm so excited that you're getting married, man. That's so cool. I recommend marriage very highly, actually.
Yeah, I've gotten everybody's opinion, which has been enlightening and just honestly fun to listen. Because you have people that are happily married, you have people that are happily divorced, you have people that are everywhere in between, and you know what? Life is interesting, and whatever makes you happy, that's what you should do. I've lived very single for a long time, and I'm happy to be getting married. So,
not that I'm creeping on your socials, though. You did a song together, though, with
Yeah, Amber.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that was not even necessarily a planned thing. I wrote her that just for her, and she's a great singer. And I was like, let's have fun in the studio. Just kind of like I'm gonna make a band out of my family.
Yeah.
So I can play more music. Okay, that's what it is. It's really so I can play more music. So I was like, let's start.
You're just going to have your own band members that you can boss
It's
around.
going to be the Lamar 5. Or whatever.
Actually,
there you
I
go.
can
There you go.
tell you a story. I had a friend. He had his second wife, and his first wife. He made this comment. He was like, "Yeah, my first wife. She was always like, when are you going to get out of the studio so we can have some fun?" He's like, "This girl I'm married to now. She's like, when are we going back into the studio so we can have some fun?"
Yeah,
That's a good
That's
woman.
beautiful. That's awesome. So yeah, she loves to sing, and we just went into the studio, and I said for the first thing we do, it's the first thing we ever tried. I said, let's do that song because you know it, and I know it, and it's easy. And man, we knocked that thing out in one night. I played the piano once, I sang it once, she sang it. We played tambourine in the tracking room at the desk. And I played the drums once, and I mixed it too many times. I compressed the hell out of it, and then I realized this is like a nice song. I'm like, why is it as loud as like the last rap record you did? Like, this is a fucking love song, dude. So I had to back off the compressors 10 times.
Always learning.
Yeah. I mean, I mess up mixes all the time. Hopefully that's not the one that goes out.
I just interested, if is fun, what do we define what fun in the studio is? So I don't know. I don't want to go there and overstep my boundaries. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of fun that could happen in the studio.
okay.
And we've had all kinds of different fun in the studio.
Every kind of fun that can be had has
Has
happened
been
in
had.
the studio.
Yes.
What happens there stays there, I would assume. Too.
No way, it's going right onto
Oh,
Instagram.
oh, perfect.
For marketing purposes.
Surrounded by microphones, literally.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, all right, very cool. So, do you guys want to kind of stick around and come back next week? And we got some more songs to review and more
Totally.
chatting a little bit more about music and recording and things like that. And that sound like a plan, man?
Will you come back for sure?
Totally.
Yeah, we got to
Awesome.
continue the
Fun.
battle
Yeah.
of the riffs
right.
and the rhythms.
Yeah.
All right.
The ongoing struggle between the opinion of whether or not the riffs are better or the riffs are better.
All right. So what do you got? What do you got coming up? You got some shows here before we cut loose here. I want to make sure we got plugged. We got Day by Day, a lot of stuff coming
Day
up.
by
Yeah.
Day is out, and by
Yeah.
now, Beer 30 is out, my beer drinking song.
Congratulations, by the way. Those sound really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the album comes out on May 18th. We're going to have a series of weekend parties. You guys are invited to
Nice.
all of that.
Nice.
Especially the after party and the shows.
Cool deal.
It's plastered all over Facebook.
Nice.
On it
Get on
with the sound
Facebook and
effects.
type in hashtag Kevin M. You'll find it all.
Nothing. I paid nothing but the best for our
I can
sound
tell.
guy.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Dino over here. We no camera on him this time.
Yeah, one episode. That's all he gets a year. I think is one episode. Put him on the.
He's cemented his desire to stay behind the scenes.
That's right. Yeah. So, or as Kevin said, we didn't have enough jacks in the back in the mixer there for another microphone for it.
We're just going to need you to yell.
Yeah, there you go. Just speaking real loud. Yeah. So, all right. Well, cool. So, we'll look forward to you guys having back on here. We'll chat a little bit more with you guys about music and recording studio stuff. And then I think we have another song. I think you guys had mentioned it. You want to put up there with a familiar name. I think that's been already on the podcast already.
Yeah.
Another person. So, which we got a lot of talk about. That person too. They've been up to a
Yeah,
lot of.
he's
they've
got
been up-
lots of good stuff to
I
plug.
know. So I'm really jealous. Yeah. So we ready to wrap it up, man?
Well, if we are wrapping this up, then what we ought to say is that
Like wrap up the cable. Is that what we're talking about?
under over. That's right. Oh, that was good. Under over. Yeah, so we are wrapping up the, again, my name is Kevin McLaughlin, and we do this totally smoothly and perfectly every time. That's why we never have to edit. And this is the Riffs
Rhythms podcast.
and you are?
I am Paul Robertson.
Rock on. So we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, don't forget to, what do they say in all the YouTube videos? Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell so you can get notifications of all the fun stuff we're doing all the time.
Ding. I think there's a ding. This is the Rhythm Rims podcast there. So y'all have a great night. Cheers, y'all.